Okay, so today I have one of the most important lessons that I've ever learned in business, and it's a lesson that you absolutely have to learn if you're going to have any real long-term lasting success. And so I want to take you back. First I started publishing via email, and that was in 1996. And then I figured out some way to put up a website, and it was really difficult back then. You know, these days it's so simple. Anyone can put one up in literally minutes with WordPress. But back then it was, I wouldn't say rocket science, but you had to almost know, you could be a programmer to put up a website. But I figured out a way to hack together a website. And since my website was about the stock market, I put up, information about the stock market. One of the things I did was I created these charts of historic bear markets and bull markets. So if you don't know anything about the stock market, there's these things they call them bear markets, and that's when the market goes down and everyone's bummed out and disappointed and sad. And there's bull markets when the markets take off and go up and everyone makes money, everyone's happy. So bear markets, people are sad. Bull markets, people are happy. That's simple. And so I went back and there have been some very historic bear markets and market crashes, and there have been some historic bull markets where the market just took off and kept on going up. And so I put together charts of some of the most historic times in the stock market for both the good and the bad, the bear markets and the bull markets. And so one of the things, back in those days, it was very, very hard to get statistics on the traffic on your website. These days, there's lots and lots of analytics packages, and you can just load some code onto your page and get great stats. I mean, Google Analytics is free, and it just provides incredible tracking. So you can actually track all, what people are looking at on your page, the paths through your page, how they're finding you, all kinds of amazing information inside Google Analytics. It's a fantastic package, and there's many others. But back then, there was no such thing as any analytics packages. And there was that you could download, they call it your raw logs, and then crunch them through a statistical process and get some data out. And it was a pain in the neck. It took forever, it was expensive, and it wasn't anywhere near as good as it is now. And since I was using a free website, since I couldn't afford a domain name and I couldn't afford a domain hosting, I put my website was actually on a free website that my internet service provider let me have, just a little tiny website. And so I didn't have a domain name. It was like the name of my internet service provider, / Jeff Walker or something like that. So it wasn't even an official .com or anything like that. And since I didn't have any kind of hosting, I couldn't even get the raw log. So I had no way of knowing even how many people were coming to my pages. But then I found there was these things, this is back in the internet dark ages, and they were called page counters. And you could actually go and get a little bit of code that you would put on the bottom of your page, and it would look like a car odometer. Like, when your car tracks how many miles you've gone. Down at the bottom of the page, whenever someone would come to your page and load your page, it would increment it by 1. And you could actually just go to your web page and you could look and see, 12 people came to this web page today. And so I put that odometer on all my different pages because I was desperately curious whether anyone was coming to my website. It was sort of like it was a novelty, and it made me, in a time where I was just starting out, and I was grasping for straws to make it feel like I was accomplishing something. And so just seeing that people had visited my site made me feel better. And so I put that little odometer on the bottom of my pages. And I noticed this funny thing. I noticed that those bear market pages were getting 10 times as much traffic as the bull market pages. So people were 10 times more interested in when the stock market goes down than they were in when the stock market goes up. Now, personally, I was really interested in bull markets because to me, that's like when you make money. And that was just really interesting to me. But what I noticed was the general public, the people coming to my site, were way more interested in the bear markets. So what did I do? I started to put up a lot more web pages about bear markets because I'm like, it's not that it's important to me, but it's important to my readers and my viewers and the public, so I'm going to give them what they want. And that was the lesson. You got to give people what they want. And I have been obsessed with that ever since. Every offer I put together, everything I do, it's focused on what do people want? Not what am I interested in or what do I want to give them. And sometimes, what they're interested in isn't like, if you have this domain of expertise, if you're an expert, if you're a guru, or if you're a leader or whatever, and you're teaching something, a lot of times that what they need to learn is not what they think they need to learn or what they want to learn. But you still have to give them what they want to learn. You can slip in all the lessons around the edges and let them, and I like to say, sell them what they want and give them what they need. But that one thing to always get out of your own head and get into the heads, get into the minds of your prospects, of your audience, of your tribe, and give them what they want. And if you can do that one thing, you will have success. And I've been focused on that ever since those early days when I was putting those stupid little odometers on my web pages. What does my tribe want? What does my community want? What do my prospects want? What do my customers want? And I've never stopped asking. I've never stopped trying to tap into their brains. That's why I continually ask you for comments, because in your comments, you're telling me what's important to you, what's interesting to you. So anyways, if you're watching this at my blog at jeffwalker.com, or if you're on my YouTube channel or my Facebook page, scroll on down, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. Let me know how you're giving people what they want, not what they need. This is my 20 years and 30 days. I'm celebrating my 20-year anniversary here by putting out a video a day for 30 days. So scroll down, leave a comment. If this is be useful for someone, give me a share, and let's go get them this week.